we want to talk about her boots? We want to talk about your boots. So, do you want to take some time and talk about your boots?
It shouldn't be a large part of the conversation. But
we can just admire the boots. All right, so I'm just very interested in those early days of the White House, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was you think back, what was your relationship to fashion then, as you recall it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and how big a role were other people playing in it? How were you kind of possessing your own ideas about yourself and the stories you wanted to tell with fashion?
Well, my approach was as practical and as one would think, getting to know me. A lot of it was, the way my days would be structured, because once you get hair and makeup done, it's like, okay, we're getting it all in, because we call those up days. Because when I was down, it's like, don't look at me, I'm not putting a curling iron in my hair.
Right.
I'm in jeans, I'm in ripped up shorts, I'm playing with the dogs. So we pack a lot into a day. So in any given day, I could be giving a major speech on policy to a group of business leaders, and then the next minute literally be running in the South Lawn catching a football with some NFL team, or messing around with LeBron and doing slam dunks,
right. Or
then meeting with kids and sitting on the floor where I have to be comfortable. So a lot of what I had to think about was I have to wear fashion. Fashion can't wear me. So first and foremost, I have to be comfortable, and I have to know, and this is something that, the men in the West Wing never understood. It's like, all they're doing is taking off a jacket and putting on a tie. That's the casual look. We're going casual, remove the tie, gentlemen. It's like, that's all you have to do. You don't have to worry about cobblestones and skirts and, wind blowing, there was many a time where I flashed my detail. It's like, sorry about that.
Can you tell us a little bit, how do you fit, what is the process for fittings? Do clothes arrive and you think, okay, I'll find 2 days, I'll somehow find...
Well, I talked about I have a team. I had Meredith Coop, who's here, who's smart, sharp, because I didn't have time to work with designers individually. So she would do that work, and we research and, look at who's out there. And for me, it was not just, did I love what they designed, but it was also, what kind of people were they? And how do we send a message of diversity and supporting American designers? Because, you get to the point where it's like, I can put on anything, but I did know that my clothes were making a statement. I understood that to be the case. I mean, before you get initiatives off the ground, the press, that's all they're looking at. I wrote that, the first report, no matter what I was doing, was what color of my shoes, which would never have happened to a man.
No.
And we still do that to women, where no matter what we're doing, we're still checking out, what are you wearing, and how's that, and who designed it. And you can get frustrated with that, or you could flip it on its head. So we decided, why don't we use this platform to uplift some new, young designers who normally wouldn't get this kind of attention, because you can change their lives.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is why, one of the reasons why we chose Jason Wu for my inaugural gown.
Yeah.
He's young, his story was amazing. He didn't expect it, he didn't feel entitled to it. Because you learn that there are people in sort of this scene who feel entitled to these things because they've done it for a while. And I hated that feeling of like, oh, you think this is just yours.
Right.
Well, there are a whole lot of people out here who are trying to make it. They're young people and women and black folks and immigrants and, and then for me, it wasn't just, did I like their design, but did I like their spirit?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to wear the clothes of someone who didn't have a good spirit. And you could hear these things. You could hear how they treated my staff or how they treated their workers. So everyone I wore, as far as I knew, had a good spirit as well. So we did as much as we could to lift up new young designers and to pay homage to their talents.
And you did.